Welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team is currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games 2 CD collection. You can find a link in the video description containing the entire directory structure of this archive. It's week 49, and this is what our diggers have for us today. For more information on how to join the dig team, simply head on over to the Patreon page linked in the video description. Now without further ado, let's begin. First up, James Dunn has dug up DOSGAMES /board/scribble. So I'm not quite sure what game this is going to be. Probably something with, wait a minute, Scrabble? Directory name is Scribble, and yet this is saying Scrabble. So is this just Scrabble then? Well, it's not an official Scrabble from the looks of it. It's apparently made by someone called C. Hall in 1998, or 1988, sorry. Anyways, so... well, it looks like a typical Scrabble board, I guess. Let's see here. How do I actually start playing? Oh, well, I found the help screen here. Apparently made by Christopher Hall in Austin, Texas. And doesn't look like the game normally costs any money. Program's in the testing stage. Huh. Hang on a second. Look at the date in the corner there. It says 1/8/88. Yet, outside of the help screen, it says 1/23/88. That's kind of weird. Okay, so you have to hit F2 to start playing. Although, I somehow got 100 points. Don't know how that happened. I don't know, someone? Do you really need all 4 players? Current player, someone. Okay. So... now what? Pick more tiles? Okay. This is kind of basic in that it doesn't advance the sort of gameplay by itself, so to speak. So it's more like... it's kind of like those board game simulators in a sense, where it's giving you the tools necessary to play the game, but you're sort of having to do it manually in a sense. If that makes any sense? Okay, that's kind of not good. The cursor here, now I assume this is because they developed this on an older system where the cursor was a solid cursor by default. But in DOSBox, and in many versions of DOS, the cursor is aligned by default. So as you can see, it's really hard to see where your cursor is when you're using underlines or underscores to determine where your positions are. So they kind of could have done that a little better. Okay, so you actually push the letters on the keyboard to select the letters from your thing. And then F1 finished. Tome was not found in the dictionary? What? How basic of a dictionary do you have if it doesn't have a word like tome in it? Let's see if woven is in the dictionary. Woven was not found in the dictionary. Is anything in the dictionary? Okay, it's got one more chance here. We're going to do the word verse. Surely verse is in the dictionary. It is not. So the dictionary that this game comes with, because there was a file that seemed to be like a dictionary file, is useless. Okay, so that was Scrabble by Christopher Hall. Apparently, it doesn't do anything for you. You have to manually switch to the next players. You have to manually pick up new tiles. You have to manually add words to the dictionary. This is a framework upon which you can play the game, but you're ultimately just doing sort of the same thing as if you had the board game because so little is being done for you. I guess if you don't mind that kind of dealing with things manually, then the game's fine, but I don't know, when I'm playing a computerized game, I sort of expect a little more automation than this. Next up we have Robert Mackey, who unfortunately had a failed dig. WINGAMES /arcade/runner. And this one failed for kinda dumb reasons. Cannot open runner.dat game file. Really? But it's right there. Why can't you open it? Unless of course the runner.dat file is like broken or something. Like, I mean, a lot of the games on these CDs here these 2000 Shareware game CDs, they were downloaded from bulletin board systems. So it's possible the download was corrupted, and that's why this isn't working. So I guess I shouldn't consider that a strike against the game. But in either case, failed dig because it just doesn't want to work. Robert Mackey also had a second failed dig. WINGAMES /newin2/winant. And this one failed for, actually annoying reasons. Now I do like the fact that it actually goes full screen here. Like, I mean, you can change the... Wow, this game is really slowing things down for whatever reason. Yeah, I can't... It's like so uncontrollable because it's going so slow. And I know it's not supposed to go this slow, so I'm guessing this is something to do with the emulation. Jeez, I don't want to have to count this one as a failed dig as well, but I can't play it because it's just... The frame rate is bad. It is really bad. So, this is one, like, I mean, it's... I have played this before, so I know how it's supposed to play. So that's also part of the reason why I know it's not working right now. But apparently DOSBox does not like this. So this would be something to try on real hardware, but I don't have a means of doing that and recording it, so yeah. We got another failed dig, but this time because of the emulation and not because of the program itself. Annoying, but oh well. Thankfully, third time's a charm. So Robert Mackey's third dig, DOSGAMES /ADVENTUR /MODSS. This one actually turned out pretty well. Okay, hopefully Robert Mackey's got a little more luck with this one. Interesting. Let's quickly type out the file ID. Menace of Dr. Spoilsport Virtual Reality Adventure Game. I seriously doubt this is going to be a VR game. So, run is supposed to be something called Run VGA. So, I'm guessing it's either the file that... So, let's try mod like that. Okay. 3D environment created with Virtual Reality Studio by Incentive Software. Select control method. We'll use a mouse. A menace of Dr. Spoilsport. To save the world, you must find his teleport room. Teleport to his space station, disable its weapons, and get back to Earth. Press enter to start the game. Okay, so we're actually using... Yeah, we're using the... Oh, I can't remember the name of it right now. Even though we probably just read it right there. But this is a special game engine that was made to do, like, 3D stuff. And the frame rate is really high right now. Should probably turn the cycles down. So yeah, it was a game engine that is very basic. Like, I mean, you have this sort of laser thing that you can use. And most people who use this laser would use it for, like, targeting things or selecting things. So, like, I mean, if you wanted to go in the door, you would actually laser the door. Or maybe the door handle. Yeah, see, and that opened the door. So it's a very basic game engine. But you could make some interesting stuff with it, for sure. So let's go in here. Or try to. I keep thinking these are forward and backwards, not here. Oh, I am actually getting attacked. How do I destroy these things? Or does it even matter? Maybe I already stunned them. Maybe that's all you can do is stun them. Fair enough. Got a couple doors here. Can't seem to do much with them. Warning, you are approaching laser beams. In that case, let's not approach them. So, can I open this door? Can I actually just go in it? Door's closed. Let's try that other place we saw. The only trick is that it's across some water. I don't know about this. You're in a fiver? filled with piranha. Chomp chomp. And you've gotten over 100 damage points. You are dead. Okay. So let's see what else we got around here. Because one of the things that happens with this particular game engine is just sort of being able to hide things pretty easily. I mean, I actually have a soft spot for these kinds of filled polygon graphics. So there's actually a back entrance to this place from the looks of it. It even goes to a second floor. Oh yeah, and if I right-click on these options, I take bigger steps. I currently have the cycle set a bit higher than when this game engine came out, so you have to keep in mind that people who are playing this probably would have had to deal with a much lower frame rate than this. I mean, this is already pretty low, but I mean even lower than this. Okay, let's open this door and go inside. Reactor room radiation leak? That can't be good. Well, at least we know our damage limit is 100, so let's see what we can do in here. Let's turn it off. Off? Well, that's not a good thing. Okay, destroying a nuclear reactor. Probably a really bad idea. Yeah, it just occurred to me, maybe I can knock down these trees. Oh, did that actually work? That actually worked. I had no idea that was going to work. That was a good idea. Let's walk across the tree. Oh. There we go. And open this door. The door and knob are indestructible. But I just want to open the door. Well, the door is locked. Although I do like the fact that it is detecting differences between left clicks and right clicks. So it seems right clicking is to use something, and left clicking is to shoot it. Knowing that, we could probably go back to the reactor room and solve that little problem with the reactor. Controlling this with the mouse, by the way, is extraordinarily annoying. There are keyboard controls for this engine, but from what I remember, the keyboard controls are not good. So it's actually better to use the mouse. I mean, it might support the keyboard and mouse together, but I also remember the keyboard controls are kind of bizarre in terms of their position and everything, so I think I'll just stick with the controls that I know are working. Okay, let's see if we can turn this off properly this time. Off. It is the nuclear power supply for the lab. And we turned it off. Yay! And there are save and load features, which is good to have in a game like this. So yeah, I already forget the name of this game, but it's neat to see another one of these games made with this 3D program, because I've seen a couple, but this is not one of the ones I've seen before. So if you're interested in these particular kinds of games, then this is definitely one to check out. And to finish things off, Brendan of RetroSwim dug up WINGAMES /comp/blockade. Let's see here. Comp and blockade. So we got a help file and an SCR file. Okay. Blockade help. Basic rules of blockade. Play against the computer, you play the white faces, computer plays the black ones. Take turns with the computer, drag cursor any of your faces in any direction onto a free adjacent square. Then destroy a free square on the board, double-click, in order to isolate the black faces. The winner is the last player who is still able to move at least one of his faces. So, some kind of strategy game from the looks of it. Sort of like chess, almost, maybe. Okay. So, let's see here. So I can't just click and drag them anywhere. So after you make a move, then you get a destroy turn. Oh, you can destroy anything. So, interesting. And you can move diagonally too, so this could probably take a while. Yeah, this, considering how large this board is, this is going pretty slow. Okay, so if I'm getting this right, so long as you're playing this in a good way, you probably should... Probably that comes down to who's got the more space to have to deal with, especially considering the fact you move diagonally. So, also I get the impression the AI is not doing that great a job. I don't know why, I'm just getting that sort of vibe. Okay, so I've isolated his pieces pretty well, and basically what I'm trying to do is just sort of try to limit how many moves he can potentially make with all of his pieces. And then I can go in for the kill once I've done as much isolation as I can, which I believe is going to be now. So that's 1 of his gone, 2 of his gone, 3 of his gone. He got 1 of mine, but I won. So I don't know how it keeps track of score. It doesn't seem to have a high score. Or no, it does. High scores. I have very far off of those scores. Okay, so it was on an easy mode. Number of player, I'm guessing that's the number of pieces on the board. Yeah. Although it changes the board size, so that's good. So you can make it a smaller game if you want to. See, this would be a more it's probably choosing locations at random. It definitely gets more interesting if the pieces are like... if the opposing pieces are closer together. What else do we have for the options here? Okay, you can also start with the board already in certain states. That would be intense. You only have the diagonals to work with. So yeah, it's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. About Blockade. By Etienne Varlou? Etienne? I think I'm pronouncing that right? I don't know. With a very weird CompuServe address. Made in 1991. Doesn't seem to be any information about registration or anything, so this is probably a freeware game. So I guess for a freeware board game, it's not bad. I do like that the game gives you a lot of options to continue having more interesting stuff to do and everything. There doesn't seem to be a way to play against other players, though, so it's only against the AI. So that would be the only strike I'd really have against it, is that there's no 2-player mode. Like, I mean, it says number of players, but that's just the number of pieces on the board. So yeah, not bad. But you'd really have to be into this kind of thing to probably enjoy this for any length of time.